And then almost just as instantly you step off the boat and you look at them and you're like, oh God, what have I done?
All right. Well, I am so excited for the second season of Below Deck Down Under. I watched the first episode and kicked things off with a bang. I mean, Captain Jason, what can fans expect from the second season?
Well, Aesha actually improves the game a bit, which is fantastic. That's good. She did really well. I think we can really see a lot of guest drama in comparison to the crew drama this year. I think there was a hell of a lot either way. Definitely, I enjoy the fact that we're back down in Australia, seeing the Great Barrier Reef, but further north where there's a hell of a lot more marine life. Mm-hmm. The boat is an old nostalgic fishing vessel. It's fun to drive. It was an experience for me. It was an experience for everyone. And I enjoyed being up in Cairns where, I'm pretty famous for hitting docks and having smashes.
I love it. Aesha, would you describe, I know you wanted to go into this season being a tough bitch. Did that happen this season?
Yes, I was. I wouldn't say that I don't think it's in me to ever 100% be a tough bitch, but I was much closer to tough bitch than last season. This year I actually, I set expectations and I followed through with them. Whereas I think last year I was just so stressed out about trying to prove to Bravo that I could be a good chief stew and my own concerns with my own department, that I didn't have a backbone. I didn't have a backbone with Magda. I should have come down on her much sooner than I did. Ryan, I should have spoken to Jason way sooner than I did. So this year I was like, I can't let people get away with things. And I think one of the biggest changes this season is that I was keeping Jason way more in the loop. Mm-hmm. I think last season I was so concerned with don't narc or don't run to the captain about things. But at the end of the day, Jason and I are friends and we're partners. And I realize that I actually do need to keep him informed with what's going on with the crew. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that just shows how real this show is, because I don't understand what's going on. I don't see what's going on outside of the boat, especially on nights out. I don't really see what's going on down in the trenches in the crew mess. And on a real boat, you might get snippets here and there, and then you feel it, you see the tension. This is 6 weeks. So if people aren't addressing it to me, I'm not going to know. And I saw that in season 1 after the editing. I look back and go, did they really behave like that when they were out? Was it really thrown? Was there this, really that? That never came to me. I wouldn't want everyone to come to me like Aesha said, like being a narc, but definitely as a captain, you need to have ears on the ground. Mm-hmm. And I think we've joined as a team now, and we trust we're heading in the right direction. So any intel.
Yeah. Jason,
especially with Jason, you didn't even know about you didn't know about Ryan until halfway through, and you were like, why has no one told me how bad he is? And looking back, I'm like, why the fuck didn't I tell Jason how bad he was?
Not so much the food. The food I could see that was there, and I thought I could bring that up, but the innuendos and the wall and going against the grain that he had towards everything was brought up to me a bit later than normal.
Yeah. So Jason, going into this season, is that something, and after watching the first season, what was something that you definitely wanted to do differently? Was it just being more in the know about what was going on, below deck?
Well, I think I was justified on season 1 to be very involved. It was a big boat inside and outside, and, to bring new crew on a new boat, I have a level of responsibility and safety that I need to actually make sure is on top first. So my involvement outside was definitely paramount and required last year. I wanted to bring that back down, and we did have a stronger team, I felt, a little bit in areas. However, the boat wasn't that huge in comparison to Thalassa, so it was more manageable for deck, so I didn't have to be out there, so I could be annoying the interior staff instead.
Oh my God, not annoying. He is like our knight in shining armor. Honestly, the number of times I turned around and he's emptying a bin or putting up decorations or helping the chef with something. He's just this little guardian angel hovering around. So nice.
Right. Or even, it looks like feeding guests in bed maybe as well, walking around in your underwear. So that happens this season too.
He got very involved with guest entertainment this season, and it was lovely.
Yeah, well, the culprit's right there in front of you because that took a lot of pushing to get to that point.
Do you know how long it took me to get Jason into certain little outfits that I had for him? And everyone was very pleased.
I'm sure. Is there anything that is off limits that you just won't do, Jason?
I thought budgie smugglers was it.
You can't be Captain McCarty and not show off some of the merchandise.
That's true. Do you get flattered, embarrassed, a little bit of both when people still call you Captain McCarty, or when some of the crew or the guests are a little, flirting a little bit?
It's all great fun.
Yeah.
One thing I got out of BravoCon is that all the audience are just pretty damn good people, and they're just enjoyable and they're happy, and anything that they want to bring on me, I'm more than happy. They all say it in a nice way, and I'm not getting bad flack. I'd rather be Captain McCarty or Captain McCutie than Captain Mich.
Oh, you'd rather that than people throw up a little bit when they see you.
Right, that's true. So how does this crew compare to last season's? Aesha, if you want to take that.
I honestly think one of the biggest changes since last season is the sex drive. People kind of you heard in the trailer and the spoiler there's a love Pentagon.
Yeah.
Keep your bloody hands off each other, which is awesome. And I think one thing that I am allowed to tease is that the chef is, well, let's just say the chef's not Ryan. So the chef is a little bit more dependable this season, and I think we're going to see some really nice things coming out of the galley. And I think for the most part, as Jason touched on, it's just in a lot of ways, it's a more capable team. So more capable team, the boat was a little bit smaller. It was just a much more manageable, fun season for me anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it was Thalassa and we had a lot of beach setups and the weather was a bit better, we would have saw some big cracks this season. But to be quite honest, the crew this year, I think you're going to fall in love with a few of them. There's a lot of cuteness there. They're happy. There's a little bit of dorkiness, and at the end of the day, there's a lot of genuine, lovable people as crew members. That's how I felt walking off. I really enjoyed my time working with them as crew.
Is any chef better than Ryan?
Yes, except maybe Mila.
Mila. It does seem like, I know you can't tell me exactly who it is or what happens, but it does seem like you do have to fire a crew member this season. Captain Jason, what can you kind of tease about that?
Well, people might seem to think I'm a little bit lenient. I will allow errors in potential areas of growth, and in experience. I'll justify and continue on and try and build someone in that department. But there is a level of respect and decency and that a crew member has to keep. And there is a line in the sand that's got to be there for all of us to go forward, and you'll see that come up.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what's so beautiful about you, Jason, is that you won't approach something based on hearsay or just a black and white situation. You'll always sit down and have a discussion and put yourself in their shoes and see where they're coming from. And I don't know, just see if you can kind of go on this journey together before you just decide to let them go. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
And we all deserve chances. We're all inexperienced in life, aren't we? That's why we're here. Yeah. We're here to actually live it. Mm-hmm. And I've been given my fair chances in life. So I'm more than happy to listen to other people's problems, that's for sure, and get them better themselves. Yeah, thanks, Aesha.
Yeah.
Do you ever have to step in when because like you said, this Love Pentagon is happening this season, and I would imagine maybe some things get a little messy. Do you ever have to intervene when these boatmances are going on, or do you kind of take a step back?
As a captain, I don't see much of it. I will walk around and see if it's affecting the work, and then usually it's just a word or two and that'll stop. But it's never an issue if two adults are consensual and enjoying their time and making their work environment happy, as long as they know the rules. And the rules are that hearts get broken. So they do kick on and keep working.
Yeah, exactly. And don't be late to work. Honestly, I think as long as people are starting their shift exactly when the second hand hits that minute hand and it's your time, then whatever.
Was work affected at all this season because of the boatmances?
No, because I kept a very close eye on everything.
I spoke to Captain Sandy recently, and she said boatmances never work out. Do you agree?
Yeah. There's this weird thing. It's a weird phenomenon when you're cut off from the world for weeks and weeks at a time. You know, you don't really see outside of your boat walls at all. And people that you come on the boat and you look at them and you're like, oh, maybe a 3 at best, wouldn't give them a chance. Give it a couple of weeks. They are a raging 10 with a massive ding dong. It's like you see everything completely differently. It's so weird. And then almost just as instantly you step off the boat and you look at them and you're like, oh God, what have I done?
Instant regret.
Yeah.
Things do get off to a little bit of a rocky start with your first charter. Night swimming with the guests. It seems like they caused a little bit of drama. Is that like the biggest mistake a charter guest can make? And was that the end of the charter?
I won't tell you whether it's the end or not, but look, definitely, especially in those waters, far north Queensland. We're not talking. We're talking a duck pond in the Mediterranean in Croatia. We're talking, 6-foot sharks floating around at night and jellyfish and high, strong currents. And to jump off of that time at night unsupervised, that's you've got to make a risk of it, and that's a very high risk. And for them to actually disobey the stewardess twice, and that was enough for me. So I won't give any more away.
Oh, and it's also putting other people in danger, isn't it? Because if you're swimming out there and you're not coming in and something happens, someone has to go and get you.
Yeah, totally. And the thing is, anything happens to them, we have a nice ceremony, but then I lose my ticket as well. So
yeah.
No, definitely. What other crazy demands can you tease for this season?
Oh my God, Aesha, there's some really there's one charter that I'm not even going to go there. You're going to love it.
Let's just say we have some sex workers that come on that get us all involved in a really, really good time.
I'm excited to see. Aesha, we talked a little bit about boatmances, but you do have your own relationship. What's the secret to kind of keeping your relationship alive when you are, away for, 6+ weeks?
I think the biggest thing is just trust. I don't see any point in being in a relationship if you don't trust that person absolutely completely. And I think Scott and I, we've spent time together and time apart on and off since our relationship started, because I'm always away with work or on some sort of trip. And I think because we're such independent people, but we have so much trust, it just gives you that space to really focus on what you're doing at the time. So when I'm filming, it's really nice. We text every day and we have calls and things, but because I'm not worrying about him, I'm just actually fully engrossed in being on the boat and what I'm doing. And I know that he'll be there to, give me a big hug at the end of it and say, well done. So I feel very, very grateful for that.
Yes. And he loves the show too, I would imagine.
Yeah. He loves it. He loves to he pretends he doesn't, but I can tell he really loves an episode.
Jason, I got to ask the $1 million question, relationship status?
Single. Yeah. Yep. I've got my daughter pretty stable where she is with her mother at school. And I think it's time to start focusing on myself a little bit the next year. So hopefully things will change and I can give a little bit of time to that department.
Definitely.
Jason's been doing fasts and things. He's been focusing on his health a lot, which is awesome. And you look so good, Jason.
Thank you. You do too.
Yeah.
That's great. What kind of kickstarted this new health journey?
I've always been touching on it, but I did get staph in the ocean from Bali in my foot and had a big operation. Well, it could have been a worse operation, but I took took a big hit. So it took me about 3 months to get over that. Still am. And I've just decided to just really go that extra mile.
Yeah. Did you
Nice.
think? Yeah. Did you think after the injury, like maybe you wouldn't be able to go back to yachting and things like that, or?
No, I just escaped a big skin graft. You know, if it went on any longer, I would have had to take a lot out. But it definitely could have gone into my bloodstream and gone to amputation. So, I am going to be a lot wary of a lot of things now. It wasn't no one's mistake. I just it was just the conditions of living in the tropics, and I've just come out the other side just thinking I want to eat well and be well and breathe well. But the thing that got me through it was breath works. I think I actually started healing a lot faster once I was doing breath work. So I want to start doing.
Oh, nice.
That's great. Well, I'm glad that you are healthy and, you know, in good spirits and everything like that, and on your way to a new you. I think that's fantastic. You know, there has been some big news in the Below Deck universe about, you know, Captain Lee not coming back. How do you both feel about that? I know Captain Jason, I'm sure you've met him, you know, at Bravo events and things like that, but what was your reaction to that?
Yeah, I caught up with Captain Lee and Marianne about a week and a half ago and had dinner with them, and we talked nothing about Bravo, which is amazing. We just caught up with everything else that's going on. He's got a hell of a lot going on himself. It's never over until it's over, that's for sure. He's still got a lot to offer, and he's still very well liked. We went out to his favourite place and everyone wanted a photo of him. I didn't know who the hell.
Everyone loves him.
I didn't know who the hell I was. I had to tell everyone who I was. But, yeah, look, they're beautiful. They're a beautiful couple. I love them. I've caught up with them since Bravo and now down here. Look, he's got a lot in the pipeline, and I think you're going to see a lot more.
Yeah. Aesha, what was your reaction?
Yeah, I just think it's a shame. You know, he has been on there, what was it, 10 years? Yeah, which is such a long time, and everyone loves him so much. He's such a known and loved face. So I think it's a shame, but at the same time, I think it's so nice to leave on a high when you are that loved. And as Jason says, he's got so much more to offer, so I'm sure we will be seeing him somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely. You know, there was a lot of drama between Captain Lee and Captain Sandy about whether or not she should have called him to let him know that she was letting go somebody from his staff. Jason, would you have done that?
Oh, you're really throwing me in the fire at the moment, aren't you? Look,
sorry.
Each to their own. Look, if I was taking over a vessel, I definitely, I would just inform the other person out of courtesy, that's for sure. But I see from Sandy's point too that she's got to run the show, and that's her, run the boat. I mean that as a boat. So her moves are for the way she wants to run it. But yeah, you would be leaning towards the other captain who is coming back to take the reins to make sure that what you're doing is in line with what he would like. You know, I wasn't there, so it's very hard to judge. So it's a very loose answer.
Definitely. Aesha, do you still keep in touch with anybody from Below Deck Med?
Well, yeah, Hannah and I talk like every day, really. Yeah, I'm actually going to go on her podcast. Well, hoping to go on her podcast. And I went and stayed with her in Sydney. Anastasia, I FaceTime her every couple of weeks just to see how she is. Yeah, I try and keep in touch with whoever I can.
I love that. So when fans watch this season, what are you hoping? What's that one moment that you can't wait for everybody to see?
Oh, I think I'm less a moment and more I'm just so excited for everyone to see how much I've grown. Like, as I say, it's like I feel like I came back and I was so much more assertive and like firm but fair with how I was directing my girls. And yeah, I'm really, really proud of how I've grown and how Jason and I have continued to grow together. And I just can't wait for people to see that.
Jason, how about you?
I'm excited for people to see Cairns for sure. See the underwater stuff that's there, the marine life. We do a few dives, which are fantastic. Look, the crew they're a funny bunch, but you're going to see that we get it together, we get it done, and we get it done with happiness and pride, and we all come out really enjoying each other's company. And I think that's what it's about.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.